Well, hello all. I see you coming in. Aren't you guys so special? Whew, it's early. All right, I'm going to, I'm not going to do the get up, but I'm going to get up. I'm going to refill my water. This is only water. There'll be no drinking today. Hey, did you guys all enjoy Elizabeth? I hope so. Morning, Rachel. Looks like you're going to be working hard all alone. A couple of my mods said this was just too early. I'll be right back. All right. Hello, all. Let's see who's out here. Good morning. Let's wake it on up. We got a whole day to go. What's going on? It's going till midnight tonight. So let's kick the day off with a little bit of tea. Oh, Elizabeth. Wow. I love the emotional ride that you took us on. We were way up here and laughing and giggling. You came down and you had a serious moment. It was a real moment. You know, there was such an intimacy that was connected to that. And then you softened our hearts and left us with such a beautiful message. So if anyone did not catch Elizabeth Inslee's live, definitely click back on the Sparkle of Thon playlist and make sure that you get in there because it was so beautiful. So I'm going to be, trying to keep that in mind as I go through my days. But you guys know I work in insurance and I can't always be so positive. Sometimes I got to have those hurtful conversations that say, what the hell was you thinking? I try to come up with a nice way to say it though. But at the end of the day, I still want to say, what the hell was you thinking? So coming through the list, hi, family painting with Orchid. I hope you're feeling better. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Good morning, Robin Babcock. How are you? You guys all make sure that you say hello to Rachel Ray, an awesome mod. And Elizabeth, Mickey, morning. Moved right on over, I see. Good morning, Phyllis. How are you? Blonde, how you been? How you doing? I know I talked to you a little bit this weekend. Hope all is well and you're just getting back into the routine of everything. Sometimes routine can help us heal, especially when it comes to just trying to get through each day so that we can look back and say, okay, time has passed. Okay. Hi, Therese. How are you? Crystal's Crafty Creations. Celia, how are you? I don't think I've ever seen you in a live, although I see you online all the time. Thank you. This is my favorite dress, Rachel. It's a favorite. My mom She will have it all washed and ready to go Fridays when I get home from work. And I gotta be honest, I put this sucker on and pretty much don't take her off a lot of times until Sunday night. I get up, I'll jump in the shower, she'll hang right on the door, and I put her right back on. Yeah, I love this dress. I've been looking for another one to find a little go-to, but I can't. I've had this dress for about 2 years. So comfy, and I look cute in it. I do. Comes in at the waist, so I feel a little, sexy. Skip the first 30 minutes. No, watch the whole thing. Coming on down. Shawana, good morning. Shawana, what's going on? You love the painting? I love this painting also. This painting should have been done. I'm not done. So I know during my life, I could have swore I'd have been done by Friday. I don't do a lot of diamond painting during my life because I'm running my mouth. And boy, can she talk. So I'll pluck down a few diamonds and get some things done, but nowhere near as much as when I'm not diamond painting. Thursday, didn't touch her. Friday, pulled her out. Kind of what I thought would be working and lurking, I put down. But I felt like I was watching the board more, and I wanted to type in responses and be interactive. So when you're very interactive, you're not working. So it's kind of a toss-up, you got to pick and choose. Are we going to be interactive? We're going to read the board. We're going to respond. We're going to have a little fun. Or are we going to just pluck away? So I didn't get a lot of plucking done. I did work yesterday, but again, I'd lost 2 days, and my eyes were starting to roll around in my head. So I didn't get as much done. And you guys know my light pad situation. Don't judge me, please. And so where I thought I would at least be up in the blue right now, yeah. But again, I am off tomorrow because I always try and take off the Friday before, and I always try to take the Monday after a diamond paint-a-thon off from work. That way I can relax, I can get caught up on sleep, I'm not cranky when I go back in. So, but she is coming along. She is beautiful. She is so gorgeous, and I just started. Thursday would have been a week. So trying to be done by Friday, a week later, that was for a painting this big, unrealistic. But here we go. I believe I'll probably finish, if not tonight, probably tomorrow, if I concentrate and pluck instead of chit-chatting. So that will be the goal. Let's see what's going on in the chat. It's flying by. Oh, good morning, Craft and Journey with Rebecca. How are you doing? How are your mom and Justin doing? Oh, Rachel, my mom is doing pretty good. She saw your message. She said, oh, I would love to come and see her. Justin is doing really well. I'm kind of shocked Justin's not up and out here right now. He does get up a little bit earlier in the mornings. Of course, it is 6 a.m. on the dot here in Las Vegas. And so I believe he had a very late night. He was up. Justin is a gamer when he's not diamond painting. And we can tell when he's winning because we can hear him. Oh my God, no. When he gets blown up or something. Oh! And we hear that late into the night. So I think the last time I heard him was probably going on 3. And I was getting a little wonky. So I don't think he'll be up joining me. He did come through halfway through the last diamond paint-a-thon. He just needed to get that extra sleep out. So hopefully he'll come out. You guys, all the newbies, if you don't know, Justin is my son. He's 22. He's an adult. And he also is my co-host. He diamond paints Here's his seat. Any of my videos, you'll probably every once in a while see him. He has lots of new responsibilities at work. He's had some hours changing. And so because of that, he doesn't get to co-host as often with me. But he's still lapping me when it comes to diamond painting. I also have a daughter. Her name is Tiara, and Tiara will jump into my lives and kind of communicate back and forth with everyone. She doesn't diamond paint at all. She's more on the like musical talented side. She's more art, what I guess traditionally an artist. So she plays the guitar, she plays the piano, she's a singer, and she's really big into that community. So she'll come in from time to time and she'll chat with everyone and answer questions when I'm doing like contest questions or things of that nature. Let's see. Hey, Sherry, how you doing? Kind of moving over, scrolling down. Cal! That's okay, Cal. How you doing? All right. Lizzie. I saw Lizzie, but I know Lizzie changed her name. Cindy B, you joined us? Look at you. Getting up early. I so appreciate you. Kaya, good morning. Thank you all for transitioning over. I certainly appreciate it. All right. So I want to first and foremost start off by welcoming all of the newbies. Even though it doesn't, there's Lizzie, even though it doesn't look like they're all in here because they're probably all asleep from, yesterday. It's been a great weekend. And I feel like the theme has been getting to know the newbies. So with that said, I'm going to join in and maybe in my own little flair, allow a lot of you newbies to get to know me. Quickly, some of the takeaways from this weekend. I'm new. Okay, Shawana, I'm sure. Sylvia, you definitely are new. And so are you, Julie. How are you doing? So, Shine Like a Diamond, hi, how are you? So one of my biggest takeaways from the weekend, not really a takeaway, but just remembrances that I will have from this particular Diamond Paint-a-thon Friday. I was working, so I had most of you in my ear. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I was home by the time Kiss My Crafts came on. I am so glad that I was home by the time Kiss My Crafts came on. Holy cow. I think that her spirits, they kind of went through me for the whole weekend. I was trying to catch up to her, and I think by yesterday afternoon, I was like, oh my goodness. You ever have like a sympathy pain or sympathy? I think I was having like a sympathy hangover or empathy hangover on her behalf. So yesterday, I think I'm trying to recover. So I'm going to drink plenty of water today, and I'm glad I'm off from work. But I definitely feel like, I was trying to hang with her, in spirit, and I wasn't plucking, I was sipping. I'll just say that. So my takeaway, I think it was late Friday night, early Saturday morning. I awoke to the crafty heifer, which is Marissa. And for all of you who don't know, Marissa, she kind of puts a lot of this together and she works behind the scenes. And it's so much fun to go to her live and to see the face behind all of the messages. Anyway, Marissa did the Vegemite challenge. And what will stay with me is the facial expression that she made. She spread the Vegemite on top of the butter and bit into her toast. I can still see it. So if you guys didn't catch that, try and catch it. She went and put some honey on it to try and soften it up a bit. And she still had a reaction to it, even though You can always add ketchup and hot sauce and jalapenos, kind of change the flavor. If that doesn't work, I always suggest cheese. Um, but it looked like the flavor still broke through, and she gave the same face, even with the honey. So that was definitely fun. If you guys didn't catch her yesterday, Pippa Brown, Pippa was doing the Get Up Challenge. So kudos to Pippa. She looked so cute. I could see what part of the song she was on. First, she had audio issues, and she wasn't able to get the sound to sink into what we were able to listen to in her live. She finally got it up and running. We were able to see her, but before that, the fun part was seeing her doing the steps that he was calling out. So I could tell when she put her hand on her side, when she did her dip, when she, spun around and took a sip. It was all cute. It was so cute. So definitely some fun takeaways from the weekend. One of the other things that I noticed that everyone was doing, let's see, it's spinning. I've been diamond painting and haven't participated in much chat. That's okay, Julie. We understand. Rachel says, I can't wait to watch the videos this week. Me either. Yes, Sherry. Marissa was so awesome. The honey gave it a different taste. I think it was supposed to, but the expression was the same. I would never try that. Don't even like beer. Oh, well, I can understand that. Oh, man. I did the Vegemite challenge, and it's not for me. I didn't get Vegemite. I got patty wax, so I'm kind of happy about that. But I don't think that I would have been trying it. I would have watched everyone else's expression. I am not a big taste tester at all. That is why I am thickums, because I only eat the foods that I like. And boy, do I like some food. I could be a lot smaller. I was definitely on the path to just a reduced Tia, but then Mom came to stay with me. And boy, my mom should open her own restaurant. This is not the first time she's been told this. She was told it when we were kids. I grew up with my dad and my brother. He grew up with my mom after my parents divorced. My mom remarried. You guys know my stepdad, who I called dad. I called my real dad, who I grew up with, I called him Poppy. And my dad, he passed away. It's been about 7 months now, and I brought my mom to stay with me. Oh my goodness, can this woman cook? And I think I forgot. Shoot. Anyway, homemade. You guys saw, she put a plate on my desk when I came in the other day. And she wrote a little note to Mrs. Coffee because she knew it was the night that I had to do my live. And I lift the little paper towel up, and it was homemade chocolate chip cookies in there. The problem with that is she knows that I'm trying to be good. So she makes the cookies to entice Mrs. Coffee to come here. Like they're going to be waiting for her if she does come. Of course I'm going to eat the cookies. They're here. I ate some of them, Dixie. Not all of them. There's a few left. Not many. If you guys saw the plate. Not many. I think that's 3. But hey, what do you expect? I love me some food too, girl. I tell you, food and me have a love-hate relationship. Mom's cooking is the best, right? She has the dangerous favorites. She used to make this homemade sloppy Joe, and she used to make this homemade bread. I always used to tell my dad, let's get her. I want to, when I go to her house or something, I would like to bring a gift, especially if it's a holiday and things. And I used to tell my dad, Poppy, I would like to get her like a bread maker. She wanted a bread maker. She liked the way she made homemade bread. So she would make sloppy Joe, and she made homemade bread, and she would slice it in big giant pieces bigger than Texas toast. And the way she would slice it, she would toast it and butter it, homemade buttercream. Oh, and then she would take some of the sloppy Joe and pour it over the bread. And it was definitely different. I feel like packaging is everything. And the way she used to put it on the plate, sprinkle a little cheese on it. Oh, it was so divine. I'd bring friends over. My dad and my poppy, they went to high school together. They knew each other, but my dad, he was older than Poppy. He by, I think, 3 or 4 years. Anyway, they were really cool. They both had played football. And my mom and my dad, they met years after her and Poppy had divorced. So they were good friends. And Poppy used to go over and hang out with Dad. Anyway, it was like the best of both worlds. He still got to get her cooking while hanging out with his friend. And everyone used to always say she should open her own restaurant. We called her Sloppy Joe on the homemade bread. We called it Joe Marie's. Because that's my mom's name, Marie. And I used to always say, if you ever open your own restaurant, that should be your specialty meal and your specialty recipe. And you should call your restaurant Joe Marie's. So if you guys ever hear of a restaurant by the name of Joe Marie's, a little cafe or deli, try it. I've been trying to get her since she's been here to take a step into a new direction and maybe open a new path for herself, just to do something a little different and give it a try. I told her you could start small, maybe do a YouTube channel where, you do recipes once a week, quick recipes, cater to a working community, cater to, young married women who, just starting out. They haven't built their own, style or, they're looking for tips when it comes to cooking and creating their own favorites. That's just a suggestion, but yes. Sorry, Rachel Ray. Yes, I mean it's a little bit thicker than Texas toast, but it's so good. I would have made them too. I offered her to come, put on some pants, share them. We could have had a little fun over the weekend. I even told her, obviously, she would get her own fresh batch, but those were just too good to not taste. They're homemade, and they got a couple of extra chips in them. So I'm going to be lurking and working. I have a goal to make today. I can understand that. Yes, she would be great at it. I say we all chip in for a chunk of land and build the official diamond painting community. Tia's mom is the resident chef. That is a great idea. We can all pick somewhere to go, have us a great time. I know I live in Vegas, but I want to go somewhere too. I want to go somewhere. I want to get on a plane and get out of here. Speaking of getting on a plane, you guys know that we are going to be having in October a diamond painting retreat. I believe it is going to take place somewhere in Texas. Yay! I think it is October 16th through the 18th. I think that's a Thursday through a Sunday. And I believe that we all have to have our signups in by February 1st. So if you are going, make sure you fill out the form and you submit that to Marissa. She is organizing it. I believe the total cost is going to be $300. Obviously, you would take care of your own transportation outside of that. But there's going to be just an organized area where you'll be able to diamond paint and work on your projects. Yes, I will be there. I already asked if there would be alcohol included, and I heard there's no, maybe. We don't know. So if it's not included, I'm planning on BYOBing. If you don't know what that is, we'll talk later. But I'm going to have a good time. I'm not going to take anything in particular because when I was watching Kiss My Crafts, I believe she was plucking the wrong diamonds down on the wrong color. I don't want to get to that point. There we go, Rachel Ray. Gonna have my wine. And Sherry says, "Oh, poo." I don't think that's poo, but I'm gonna say poo. I would love to, but I don't know if I will have things figured out by February 1st. Oh, I will message Marissa and see what we can do. And Sister Dawn and I will come. That'll be so much fun. And Angie says, my sister called me Friday and she was diamond painting. She always made fun of me because I breathed and lived diamond painting. And now she is the same way, thanks to me. We all have that moment, especially for all the newbies. We all have that moment where we come into diamond painting. And once we are first made aware of it, we search, we research, we shop, we acquire. Once we get that first diamond painting and we don't know anything, so it might be a partial, and we pluck down our diamonds and we're finished, we want that same enthusiasm. We want that same eagerness that we felt when we were waiting on it to arrive or when we were actually completing the diamond. We can't wait to get back to that same eagerness. So in and of itself, we are creating our own addiction. And the more eager we were after we saw someone else do it, the more that addiction just hits you head on, and you can't stop. Now, if you went shopping like a lot of us and you purchased galore, especially if the first painting took forever to come in, then your second order, it was stacked. You probably had at least 10 in your second order. So when you were waiting on that second order, that's 10 times the eagerness, 10 times the anxiousness. So the addiction is going to smack you triple fold on top of that. And that's why it's so great. That's why it's so strong, because we go through, we shop, we can't wait to see the canvas. We see something online, we think it might be so beautiful. The diamonds come in and ooh, do they sparkle, especially if you have a company that you purchase from who they're shine. They have a ton of facets. They go with the 9 and the 13 all together so that your light is reflecting as you pluck them down, especially if you don't make sure. I used to try to make sure that I use like all of the 13 in a row and then all of the diamonds, the 9. I used to try and do that, but I realized I was impacting the light that could reflect on them. So just the way they come out in the tray is the way they get placed. And it did look neater when I was looking at it with my naked eye, but when I pulled it back, it did, I feel, impact the refraction of light. So I don't do that anymore. Phyllis said she's going to bring her own bottle too. I love that. And she says, fly into DFW. I'll pick y'all up. I live within 6 miles. Oh, there we go. We got somewhere to stay the night. That is awesome, Angie. My dad is the same way now, and I love it. We diamond paint all day together. Yeah, I love that. I love having a partner to diamond paint with. I really would love for my daughter and my mom to get into it. It would make my life a whole lot easier, but they're not into it at all. I think I have better luck with my daughter than my mom, but she does keep the vittles coming while I'm over here, so I can't complain. Shawana says, what DAC are you going to bring to the retreat? I don't know. I know they're going to be small ones. They're going to be a couple of snacks because the retreat, I think there's going to be 2 or 3 days where we just have 8-hour schedules of diamond painting. So like, I'm hoping that that's Friday and Saturday. And then obviously I could do a little sightseeing, maybe Sunday, Saturday, Thursday, and then maybe just kind of spend the day hanging out with everyone before I leave out on Sunday. But I do know that I saw the schedule. I think it's 8 hours, a couple of different days, and you're going to get your own area. So I think they're going to be smaller though. So some of the 40 by 50, 42 by 52, nothing larger than that. I definitely won't be bringing anything that Diamond Art Club considers medium. At a retreat, I may even be able to bring some of my China paintings because obviously there's no, worry or fear about copyright strike. And I know that, there have been some disgruntled artistry. We all got hit this week with the Brotherhood, Aaron Carter, JoJo's Arts, that obviously impassioned a lot of us, definitely myself, but I still have those paintings here and I still want to do them. Although you probably, as I said on my live, you probably won't ever see them, on there. But I will be bringing probably some smaller snack sizes, something that I feel I can do in an 8-hour stint, maybe 2 or 3 different ones, so I can pick if I'm not liking one and where that's going. So great question. Kaya says, no clue what I'm going to bring. It will be squares though. Mine will probably also definitely be squares. I know that rounds move a little bit faster, but I do plan on just having a couple. I think I'm going to bring something no bigger than maybe a 30 by 40. And I definitely think it'll be a square. I know you guys saw my Betty Boop last year I worked on. That one took me probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. It was a square, and it was a 20 by 30, I think. That little thing, it was so fun to make, and it was so cute. And I was shocked because, I felt like it had a lot of detail for it to be so small. Maybe because it was an animation, a little cartoon. I did a 25 by 25 last summer also. That was fun. That was quick. That was a square. And they moved fast. I felt like they moved fast. There was a lot of color blocking in the Betty Boop. And then the other one was a Mickey and Minnie. I would say there was an even mix of color blocking and confetti in that one. But yeah, I'll be bringing something that moves fast. The AC medium is actually large. I agree with you there, Kaya. So that's what I'll probably do. I'll probably bring maybe just a small DAC and then maybe a couple. I would like to get rid of my stash. And then from there, I'll probably really, we all have the knowledge now, but I really want to begin to respect artistry. And the reason is because, like this right here, I'm doing for my niece. I did not think that it would be done so fast. I was trying to get myself to the end of February, but I definitely know if I'm not done today, I should definitely be done by tomorrow. I don't plan on taking too many breaks. And I already ordered another one of these for myself because I really don't want to give it away, but I will because I have one coming in. So yeah. Well, now that everyone's here and I have about less than an hour, I'm going to really quickly jump in. As I was saying, I was going to introduce myself. I told you I talk a lot and I got a little sidetracked. My name is Tia. Hey. And my channel's name is Tia's Crazy Craft Addiction. Although I only do one craft, diamond painting. When I first started, my channel's kind of been around for a while. I was going to do quite a few things. I was going to do hair. I have a ton of hair, and I don't wear my hair straight a lot, but my hair's been straight for almost 2 months now. And I usually wear it curly. And my goal was to show you guys a lot of like craft styles for your hair and things like that. And that was years ago. I've moved into polymer clay. I don't know who hasn't done polymer clay or played with it at least. When I go all out, I go all out. I bought the polymer clay compound. This thing is huge. See all the colors? You see they're still in the original packaging? Yeah, Gonna set that out there like that. So I talked about it the other day, and guess what? I have arthritis in my hands, so I couldn't do a lot with polymer clay. Jeremy, who is one of my mods, he had a conditioner that showed you how to soften up clay, but I didn't know anything about the conditioner, so I was using my hands to condition it. I would put a little oil on the clay, but you still had to, it hurt just thinking about it. So I think I've opened 2 of those blocks, and I think I had I had purchased 50. So that was fun. I was going to be making all kinds of polymer clay jewelry, little bead bracelets, matching earrings, little necklaces. I was going to be wowing you guys with everything. Oh, look at me. This matches. Oh, this is pretty. Yep, I didn't make one item at all. I rolled it into a ball, and then I tried to soften the ball, and I was done ever since. So lots of fun. You'll be back. Give baby a hug and a kiss. Hi, Glitter Angel. How are you today? Moving over from there, that craft, I started diamond painting probably. I found the art of diamond painting Black Friday 2018. And I was looking up cross-stitch patterns. I was getting bored. My kids are never home. I'm by myself all the time. So I was like, oh, I want something to do. And I hadn't cross-stitched in years, like going on 40 years. I hadn't cross-stitched since I was a wee bitty girl, little bitty tiny girl. And I was like, well, what are you going to do? You know what you can do? You can get back into cross-stitching or crocheting. I wasn't crocheting. I haven't crocheted since Poppy passed. And I was working on a blanket for him. And because of the fact that, he is no longer with us, it was hard for me to kind of focus and want to do crocheting. So I hadn't crocheted. I had put that away, but I still was looking for a new craft. So I was going to go back to cross stitch. I'm looking up cross stitch patterns, and voila! I found diamond painting. Couldn't wait. So excited. Oh, this looks so fun. Oh, couldn't wait. Researched, got more excited. As you guys know, the addiction hit me. So that is Tia and Tia's crazy craft addiction and how it came along. It was my crazy craft addiction, but I wanted everyone to know my name. So I changed my channel to Tia's crazy craft addiction. And now you know my name. That's Tia. Kind of moving over from there. I know everyone did tags and everything, so I'm just going to pick a couple crazy videos. How you doing, Maria? Welcome to the morning edition of the DPing-a-thon. Not a lot of people are up that early, especially on Sunday. That's the day when mostly everybody sleeps in. So I thank you all for joining me. Thank you very much, even my mods, because I know this is a good day to sleep in, and it's pretty early. I remember the last DPing-a-thon, I remember you telling me, Cindy B, I don't know if I'll make it. I'll try. So I don't really have any tags, but I did pick a few questions that I saw that everyone was generally answering in their lives, and I'll go through and I'll try and answer those. So that was one, what brought you in and things of that nature. Let's see. Who influenced me to kind of start a YouTube channel? So in my initial search to see what it was about, see if there were any how-to videos, I think the first video that I watched was Diamond Painting with Donnie. After I watched Diamond Painting with Donnie, I think Stitcherista was next. I saw a video of hers. I think through Stitcherista, I found Mrs. Coffee, and I believe Mrs. Coffee in one of her videos was talking about why she wanted to why she started her own YouTube video. And I think, and you guys know she's coined the phrase, "You do you, boo." I think that was the first time I heard it. She said that she was in someone's live, and um, she was thinking, "Oh, I think I can do this." She said she had her channel up and running not too much longer after that. I had been listening to Diamond Painting with by Donnie, and she had talked about she has a younger daughter by the name of Tesla, and we all love and adore. And she was talking about how when her older girls were younger, how tight money was, and how she wouldn't have been able to do something like what she's doing right now when they were younger. And I felt like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, her story sounds similar to mine. When my children were small and it was just me and them, I couldn't afford the luxuries that I have right now to buy diamond paintings. You guys know I have diamond painting as a bill that I set up and pay every month because I'm always ordering something diamond painting related. I wouldn't have been able to do that when my children were young at all. Any extra money I had, I spent on them, trying to get them out of the house so that, they weren't always looking at four walls. But her story kind of connected. And I remember, thinking, if I were to do my own channel, I hope that my story kind of connects to someone else. So those were my first early influences. I think that they're pretty similar influences, that other people have as well. I'm retired. I like to sleep in. Oh, Rachel Ray said she slept in. Well, I'm sure. I know that you're on a different time zone than us, Rachel Ray. What time is it there? So let's see. One other story, I think this was huge in some of the earlier ones, was the Hogwarts, sorry about that, sorting order. And I don't know if you guys know, I know about it because I've had to watch the movies with my kids. We'll do like a Hogwarts movie marathon and things of that nature. But a lot of people were talking about what sorting house they would have been sent to based on their personalities, their, characteristics. 2:30 in the afternoon. So you are probably about 8 hours ahead of me. Okay, I get that. I got up at 5 a.m. yesterday for Diamond in the Rough. There you go. I see lips of, yes, Mindy, how are you? Hey, everyone, say good morning to Mindy. She's up next after me. Let me get you guys the link so you can go right there. Woohoo! Unless she changes it, this is what it's going to be. There we go. So, the sorting order. Now, we all, if you're not familiar, you can take a quiz that tells you where you would fall. And there's, I think, 4 houses: Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. Okay, so the reason why I think it's fun to kind of know where you would go is because you perhaps may have a different personality in a quiz than you originally might have felt that you really were. At least that's the take that I have. So my daughter and I were doing the quiz. My daughter has done the quiz before, and she feels like, well, she said that she came up a Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs are, kind of kind, nice, loyal. I was kind of shocked at hers because I didn't really get it. I was like, "Are you sure? You sure? You came up a Hufflepuff?" She says, "Yes." My daughter can be witty. She can snap with an attitude. I I do think that she's very smart, very intellectual. She's artistic. But I was kind of shocked, because some of the people who were telling me they came up Hufflepuff yesterday, or saying it in the lives, I guess I didn't see it. My son, definitely Gryffindor. If you guys are familiar, I'm, not as familiar. Gryffindor, loyal, brave, I guess, adventurous, chivalrous. I say he is all of that, but my son is also who I would consider Hufflepuff. He's very sweet. He's very introverted. He's shy. He is starting to try to work a little bit harder on coming out of his shyness a little bit more, because I think his biggest fear is communicating, not being able to effectively communicate, especially like with his girlfriend and things. He worries about, the best things to say to her and things like that. So he definitely, for me, would fall between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, but he came out Gryffindor. Where do you guys, anybody that knows me, where do you think I fell in the in the sorting order? I think that's a good question to ask. Where do you think Tia is in the Hogwarts sorting order? Your kids are awesome, Tia. Hi, Kiss My Crabs. How you doing this morning? I think I had empathy hangover trying to hang with you Friday. Good morning, Jill. How you doing? Got some things to do real quick. It's okay. I'll be hanging until you let me know you're ready, Mindy. Hi, Maritza. Let's see. I think you're probably a Slytherin. I think I'm more Slytherin than anything, but I came up Ravenclaw, and that shocked me. So I'm kind of baffled. I looked at it. I was like, Ravenclaw. When I looked it up, I was like, cleverness, wisdom, wit, intellect, ability, creative. That's all my daughter. And so I was shocked when she said Hufflepuff. And I definitely think I am Slytherin. Strong leader, achievement oriented, ambitious. So for me, especially coming from a position where I was the boss, I was one of the only female managers. There were 9 managers and 5 directors at my last job before our division shut down. I was the only female, and that climb to get to where I was and I was number 1 out of all the managers. And I pretty much feel like I had to be, because I was the only female. I couldn't be anywhere in the middle, because then I'm just, her over there. I felt the need to have to be number 1. And the climb and competing to stay where I was, that was a daily grind. So I was kind of shocked. Maybe it was the way I answered some of the quiz questions. I don't know. I was iffy on a few. So given maybe another day, another set of circumstances, I might have answered one differently than the other. Might have been thinking of, one particular item or issue. But when I look up how the sorting is supposed to be, I definitely feel Slytherin is me. I feel like my son is more Hufflepuff, and my daughter is definitely Ravenclaw. So pretty interesting. That was definitely interesting. Obviously, when you understand the sorting order and you go back and you watch the movies, you see them under a new light. So I definitely can appreciate that a lot more. Good one. I love that you guys brought that out. Kind of moving over from there. The next thing that I thought I saw people doing was they were discussing superhero. Certain things like their favorite superhero movie, things of that nature. So that got me to thinking, if I were a superhero, what What would that superhero name be? And what would my like superpower be? And I thought about that, but it didn't take long, as I feel like my superhero name would be Blink. Yep, Blink. Deadpool. Mine's Blink. And the beauty of my superhero name being Blink, because when you say my name, oh my God, here comes Blink. That's all I got to do is appear. You say Blink, I'm there in the blink of an eye. Get it? I like that. When I appear, if you're a bad guy, you better not blink, because then you'll disappear. That's neat, right? You imagine a bunch of bad guys walking around like, oh, their eye all wide, try not to blink. Blink of an eye. So many superpowers I would love to have. Oh, kiss my crafts, it gets even better. All I gotta do is snap my finger for any power I think of to appear. I mean, you think I'm dancing, and I be to destroyed everybody. I'll be doing the nay, hey, knocking people out. Blink, blink. I can hear my song now. You'll be a transit girl. Okay. Yeah, I'll be knocking people out. So won't you blink? There you go. Just blink and snap, and it'd be over. It'd be over. My boyfriend's name, what do y'all think my boyfriend's name would be? Like the superhero boyfriend that, we work in tandem, we argue. What do you think a good boyfriend to Blink would be? I always wondered that. How do they? Well, I came up with Ding Dong, and his special power is that he turns everything into ding dongs, so that he can feed Blink. Yeah, little ding dongs. Get it? Lash. Oh, I like that. Blink and lash. I was thinking blink, ding dong, but I like blink and lash. I get to, how people sing when they eat? Ding dongs are yummy. Yes, they are. You know how people hum and they sing when they eat? That's all I would need is for a ding dong to show up, turn someone into a ding dong, go to feed me, and then I'm singing, and next thing you know, I start snapping my fingers and killing innocent people. Sorry, guys. But I thought about it and I was laughing. And it's funny if you can tickle yourself when you so. But yeah, I was like, man, oh man, what a world I've created. Kind of moving over from there. Next question that I really like that a lot of people were asking: if you could live anywhere, where would it be? If I could live anywhere, I want to purchase my own RV. And I am going to run it up some mountain somewhere. It's got to be next to a creek or a lake. And live off the land if I can. Learn how to, well, I'm going to say learn. But just kind of get back to some basics in life. Unfortunately, I think that, working for electricity and food and things like that, has definitely aged society. But I wonder if we had never been working to progress technology and to how peaceful the world would be, what it would look like if we all still lived on the prairie, like Little House on the Prairie, if we all still lived in, more meager times, more basic, essential times, I wonder what the world would be like. Would we have grown? I mean, we've grown so exponentially in the last 100 years or so. So what that would look like if we all were, living a little bit more meager and a lot more essentially and basically. Um, an RV full of diamond art clubs. Well, when you mention that, Cindy, it would definitely be at least a 2 bedroom. And yes, I would have one of those as a dedicated art studio. And I have looked into the Heritage Glen. Notice I'm naming it by name, but Heritage Glen has they have one in the travel trailer as well as one in the RV, that I feel would definitely be substantial. 2 bedroom, second room could be dedicated to a craft room. It does have a TV. It has a desk area in there. It has a bunk over the couch, and it has a couch, full size couch, looks plush, and it trifolds out into a either a full or queen bed if you want to use it as an extra sleeping space. But again, perfect second room to dedicate to crafting. Right off from the kitchen, has its own door. Yeah. So that would be perfect for me. Definitely perfect for me. But again, you can go out in nature, do a little fishing. Yes, do a little hunting. Not so good at hunting. My grandmother, um, she was an outdoors woman, and that's the one I told you guys that was Native American, grew up on a reservation. She did a lot of things like fishing. She had a pilot's license, and she used to get the grandkids, and she would make us go out on these adventures with us. If she's babysitting, you're going to get up at 2:30 in the morning and get dressed. You're going fishing. You're going to learn how to sustain yourself. So my grandmother was huge on that. And I think it just kind of stuck with me. And so when I think about, where I want to be now that my kids are adult, I want to be somewhere where I can just kind of kick back, relax, and enjoy, the outdoors, enjoy the air, kind of appreciate, sustaining myself. I think that's what I took away from my time when I would stay with my grandma. And I hope that everyone, has that kind of a takeaway. And Rachel Ray says, I love learning how to grow my own veggies. It's so gratifying and they taste so much better than store. Well, you sound just like her, Rachel. My grandmother used to say that all the time. She had a huge garden. Used to go out in the garden. She made all her own fresh vegetables. She would put little enrichments, fish, soil, everything into her garden trying to grow. She grew cabbage, she grew tomatoes, she grew peppers. I love peppers. She grew, what else did she? Green beans. They used to go out, my mom and them would go out into my grandmother's garden as she got older, and they would pick green beans, bring them back in the house, and they would sit there and gossip while they plucked the green beans. So, yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. As far as everything tasting better, that's the simplicity that I would like to get to. Growing my own vegetables, being able to sustain myself. My grandmother also had chickens. I'm not there yet. And she would go out, grab a chicken, and, take it around back, bop, 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 go wash it off, pluck the feathers, things of that nature. I'm not talking about getting to that. I think before I got to that point, I just stick to fish. I have scaled fish and cut up fish, gutted fish, and things like that. I'll stick to fish, but I don't think I'm there yet when it comes to chickens or any other livestock. So yeah, we'll just keep it to fishing. Um, but yeah, so I think I learned a lot. The only thing I haven't done that my grandmother tried to get us to do, I haven't done any piloting. Peppers, we can't get ours hot enough. Oh, oh. Well, I love peppers. I will chop up a whole bunch and just sit and snack. I just sit and snack on peppers. My mom cuts them up every day. I take them for lunch. I have them as snacks. I love them. I'll eat them on like salads and sandwiches as well, but I can sit there and just eat them plain all by themselves. So I definitely will have some peppers in my garden. I definitely love green leafy vegetables. I would have green leafy vegetables. Trying to reduce carbs, but I'm thinking, something like spaghetti squash would be in there for my pasta alternative. And then everyone knows cauliflower rice is just a definite great alternative for anything rice dish. So I feel like I would be able to, kind of take that. Obviously, tomatoes. Tomatoes are great also. You can store them. You can make your homemade sauces and things out of it. So, yeah, I definitely would like to see if I could go up, get me a little piece of territory, or make my own terrarium and kind of sustain myself. Obviously, like I said, I would need to be next to some sort of nook or creek, but hunting, that would be next on my to-do list. Did you guys see my Facebook post where I tried to take my mom on a date? Try to take her on a date, get her out the house. We had a great time. We are going to end the date at the gun range. She's got to learn how to shoot if I'm going to take her. If I'm going to take her out, so that we can hunt and things. And she's like, no, we're not going to here. I see why you're single, mom. Me going out shooting, going to the gun range does not have anything to do with me being single. Yeah, so this is the same woman who called me Maleficent, so I still haven't gotten over that. But she just pitched a fit. I said, woman, if you don't get your gun, get it locked and loaded, and let's get in here, then I'm going to make you reimburse me for this date. I think she just rather reimburse me for the date. She learned how to use Cash App, and the money was like on the Cash App. So she was refusing to go into the gun range with me. I told her, Mom, just so you know, she kind of rethought it when I said this though, but I said, just so you're aware, if I were unhappily single, that's the first place I think I would look, is the gun range. You know how many men go there, just kind of hang out, practice? Think about that. So I'm just saying. I want to retire near a body of water like a beach or a lake. Yeah, definitely. Well, last year, I forget, it's 2020. We did Chili's this year. Okay. Chili's. That sounds great. Oh, man. Boil them down, make your own homemade salsas. Oh, yeah, that sounds really great. I want to learn like a verde sauce. Yeah, great idea, Orchid. Orchid says also, if you don't have much space, you can grow potatoes in a bucket. Just drill some holes in the bottom, and whoop-dee, you have new lovely potatoes. Yeah, that's what I would definitely do. I'd make my own hot sauce. I love the potatoes in a bucket idea. Definitely. So I love that. So yeah, that's where that's what I want to do. That's where I would go. That's where I would want to live. Where I want to go, this has no particular bearing on my moderator, but yes, I want to go to Ireland. It's just great that we know someone there, so we have almost like family to visit when we get there. But Ireland it's been on our list for a while. I would love to visit, and that's where I would want to visit. I know a lot of people were saying that they would go somewhere in Europe, they would backpack Europe. I thought that was a great trend in things, but I always wanted to just see the beauty of the countryside right there in Ireland. Obviously, um, I don't know a lot of people that's been there, but that's definitely come on over, y'all. Yeah, we definitely we were looking into trying late in 2020 or early in 2021. We were definitely looking into it, me and my mom. Uh, Rebecca, I want to retire near a Krispy Kreme shop. Rebecca, really? Rebecca is being bad. Miss Southbound Crest, how you doing? Rebecca wants to retire near a Krispy Kreme donut shop. That's all you miss. uh, that could not be it for me. I've had enough of those, so that's why when I retire and I go off up in the woods, I'm only taking my personally owned terrarium, and now all I got to do is get a bucket. I'm gonna have a bucket in my own terrarium, and probably come down once a month, get some new stuff, and head on back up that mountain. Ireland is my hubby's like top vacation place. Yeah, I have a friend. He went a few years ago on the spur, drop of a dime. He works for. I'm not going to name the company, but he worked for an architecture firm, and they they had a contract to where they were working the set of The Amazing Race, and the network went with a different contracting firm, and so he was going to have a lot of time on his hands. And him and his brother, they ended up deciding. His brother was dating a friend of mine, and they ended up out of nowhere just deciding to just take some time off. And he took some time off. He took like 20 something days, and he just decided he was going to go to Ireland. And he started in the UK. He was in the UK for something like 3 or 4 days. I can't remember. And then he went over to Ireland, and he stayed the rest of the time in Ireland. The photos that he brought back, he knew no one there. He's not an ugly guy. He's very attractive. Dark brown hair, light blue eyes. And so I knew it would be easy for him to make friends when he got there. But yeah, that's the beauty of money and good looks. You can go anywhere and be welcome. And that's exactly what happened. He he simply showed up. I think he went online, went into a couple of groups, met a few people. Boom, that turned into 20 something days. He had a whirlwind romance, met a girl, fell in love, and then broke up all in that time. He come back talking about how crazy she was. Oh, the reality of the internet, the reality of the internet. Um, think about that story and all of its implications. And no, he doesn't have kids by her now, but that certainly was a worry. uh, let's see, worst job. Worst job. I won't say I've ever had like a worst job or anything like that. I will say that it's very hard to go from being the boss to, climbing again, to, going back. As you guys know, my company's division shut down last year. We found out a couple of days before Christmas last year. And one thing that I will say that I so appreciate is they gave us a timeline. They gave us a timeline of what that looked like. And obviously that enabled everyone to use that remaining amount of time they had to look elsewhere. The option to stay with the company and go to some of the other locations was there for me as a manager. Dubai, and Kingston, Jamaica, and I forget where else. There were no U.S. Locations. Dubai, Kingston, Jamaica, and it was one of somewhere in Colombia, Bogota, I think Bogota, Colombia. Those were my options with kids who did not want to go. My son was like, "Well, I guess I got to find somewhere to go. I'll probably go and stay with dad." Like they were adamant they weren't coming. So, choices had to be made. Obviously, do you stay with the company or does it fold and you look elsewhere? Um, I looked elsewhere. I am grateful to be in risk management. You'd have chosen Dubai. I think that's definitely of the three where I would have gone, is to Dubai. But being somewhere by yourself, all alone, and the likelihood of the convenience of being able to get home to see, like I had as much vacation time as I wanted to have, so that wasn't a problem. So I got close to 2 months a year. But the problem is, I'm not going to take off 2 months at a time, you know. So spreading it out throughout the year like I normally do, a couple of days here, a couple of days there, that wouldn't have left me a lot of travel time to come and see the kids. And there was just a lot, that I felt like I would be missing. Definitely missing out on additional development from them, being there for them. Yeah, they're in the midst of their life choices, but they're still not there yet. My son, he's 22. He's getting there, but he's still not there. He is, he still has a lot of questions. He comes in here and asks questions because he respects other people's opinion a lot. Like, he's not just going to take one perspective. He wants to see all perspectives and things. So I feel like I would have definitely been missing out on that. But yeah, that's where I am. So I wouldn't say that I've had a worse job. I definitely don't like having to climb back up. There's been some opportunity to get back into either management or directing, at the director level at this new job. But I think that I'm just not there anymore. I'm not there to where, even though I miss being a boss, I miss doing what I want when I want. That's what I miss. Right now, I got to check my attitude. I didn't have to do any of that when I was the boss. I I remember one particular conversation with my director where they were suggesting that something get done, and it was understood that they were talking to me. And I remember telling them, "You better get going. Sounds like you got a lot of work ahead of you." And they were like, "Well, actually, because that didn't sound like a request. That sounded like a demand." And we all know how she reacts to demands. I miss those days, just being a little freer with what I would say. And knowing that as the number one manager, what they gonna do. You definitely don't want to miss anyone that, extends the productivity. So those are the kind of things that I miss. But yeah, my friends used to get on me. "Boy, you just say anything to the boss, don't you?" No, not anything. I have some limitations. I don't know what those limitations were, but I definitely was just very free with my communication. Sound like some work need to get done. Let me get up out of here before it catch me, and I got to do something too. See y'all later. Have a good day. I used to say stuff like that. The paycheck is nice when you're the boss also. Crawling back to the top, your paycheck is not as attractive. So while I make great money, I made even better money as the boss. Kind of miss those days. One of the other questions, I guess, is something about you that no one knows. I think pretty much, especially my mods, everybody pretty much knows if they've been coming to my channel a lot, that I was shot in a drive-by shooting. And the shooting occurred in the parking lot of McDonald's. And I have to go adult for a few. Dad needs stuff from the store. Tia, talk to you later. Later, folks. Bye, kiss my crabs. All right, I will get with you later. Probably see you later today. So a lot of people don't realize, and I still have a bullet in my leg. The minute that I tell people that I have a bullet in my leg, or they see me limping, because some days my leg really bothers me, I go from being, oh, she's so sweet, oh, hi, Tia, to, ooh, I wonder what kind of trouble she been in, So I I will put it into perspective. I was out with a girlfriend. We had come from a club and we were hungry. And to absorb some of the alcohol, it's always a great idea to get some McDonald's French fries, So we go to this one particular McDonald's, and it's very close to the club scene. I was in Cleveland at the time, just outside of the Flats, just to kind of give you guys an idea. And so we decide to go to this particular McDonald's. It's close. I'm going to be able to get some fries. I'm hungry, and then I can absorb my alcohol as well. We pull in. We're trying to go through the drive-thru. Unfortunately, the drive-thru is wrapped from one side of McDonald's all the way around, spilling out into, how there's a center divider in the road? There are cars in the center divider waiting to turn left to get into McDonald's so they can get in the drive-thru line. So we drive around and go into the parking lot. Almost all of the spots are filled. There are people inside the spots. They're like back their car in. They're sitting on the hood of their car. It's not a great scene anyway. But it's the only McDonald's around that's open this time of the night. And I'm starving, hungry. So we pull around. We back in. I'm going to go in and get some fries. And the main thing that's important, I don't want anybody to miss here, is I was looking good. I had my little mini skirt on. I had little high heels on. Of course you have to go in when you look good. I head on in to McDonald's. I'm crossing the parking lot. There's a guy standing outside of McDonald's door. How you doing? He's flirting. Hi, how you doing? Who doesn't like to be flirted with? These were back in my skinty, tiny, little itty bitty Tia days. This is back when I looked like this pin. You see them curves? Anyway, so I went from this to this. Yeah, that's what I look like now. That curve is not a curve anymore. It's just, but anyway, it happens. It happens. Years have gone by. And so he was flirting. I thought it was just, cute. I was sucking up a little bit of the attention. I go in, I get my fries, I come back out. The gentleman that was trying to flirt with me was now standing next to another gentleman, and this guy said something. I don't remember what he said because, again, my head was so big it barely came out the door. But I assumed it had to do with me. Long story short, they're going back and forth. Oh, it's like that. It's like that. Oh, really? I'm like, oh my gosh. Let me, try and get past. So, I'm trying to duck so I can go past. Their voices could still measure up here. And one of them, lo and behold, pulls out a gun. It's not that serious. I was just going to eat the fries and leave anyway, right? So I keep going. Hi, Coloring Book Nook. I woke up late but wanted to say hi and give a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's not that serious. What's going on? Come on, The other guy was like, oh, that's how you gonna do? The first guy pulled out just like a little tiny, I believe that was a 22. Could have been a 25. Someone else that was there said it was a 25, but I believe it was a 22. Anyway, this other guy pulls out a big giant 9. A 9 has a clip on it, just so you're aware, and the bullets kind of fall out of the clip, and shell casings, they can ricochet off the ground. The minute I saw the little gun, I'm like, oh, time for me to get going. I'm trying. Remember I said I had on a mini skirt and she had on high heels. So she's trying with these high heels to now doot, 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 doot across the parking lot. And I hear pink, boom, 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 pink. Of course, the pink that's coming from a stupid little 22. And next thing you know, I go down. Oh, did it hurt? It hurt so bad. I felt like all this burning and burning and burning. Burning flesh. That was the next thing I smelled. I'll never forget. I was trying to get to my car. I was with a friend who just wasn't a good driver. And another girl who had saw that we pulled up together, she grabbed me and put me in the back seat of my car. She took off, took me to the hospital. I did end up, having a little surgery. There was a lot of swelling, and it started swelling really bad. I come, from surgery, getting some of the, I had at that point, we just thought it was shell casings and some shrapnel. The bullet sometimes can kind of splinter, and that turns into like just shrapnel. So I am laying in the bed. I'm laying like on my side because my left leg, that's where the bullet was and where surgery had happened. And so I'm trying to lay in a manner that kind of keeps my leg up. And the officers were coming in. They were trying to interview and ask questions. And keep in mind, I had a mini skirt on. And apparently, my father told me that they were standing behind me when he got to the hospital. And my skirt was way up, a little too exposed. They're up there writing on their notepad, supposedly, like they're about to ask questions. And my father comes into the hospital room and he's like, what the hell's going on? That's all I tried to look around. Long story short, I had a lot of swelling. I went back as the swelling went down, but I never ended up, after everything healed, all the scar tissue had healed up, I never went for my 6-month follow-up. When you're shot and you have a bullet wound, your wound has to heal from the inside out. So you have to get a lot of drainage and dressing changes, which occurred. But once you're up and mobile and you're able to move, you're just ready to put that behind you. Or so that's how I was. Sans 20-something years later, she can't get through airports and she doesn't understand why. Come to find out, there is still a bullet in my knee. My leg gave out at work a few years ago. I thought, and the doctors did too, that I had some sort of blood clotting in my leg. And no, she still has a bullet in there. So that is I wish I had a more honorable story when that comes along. I would like to say I was running, and as the bullets were flying, she jumps across the parking lot and she catches the old woman just as she's about to fall, and she took 3 in the leg. Wouldn't that sound a whole lot better? When I become Blink, the superhero, that's going to be the story. And now when you blink, or when she blinks, her powers come out. You're packing heat. I certainly am. I don't even know if they'll let me on the plane when I come and see you, Rachel. I'm gonna be sending everything off. They're gonna think I'm CIA or something. I do plan to get it removed. I remember I made a comment last year, um, but I didn't do it. But I remember after they made the announcement, I literally said, "Oh, they're closing this division down. Sounds like the perfect time to go on LOA and get my surgery because because obviously I have to go on surgery. I have to go through our insurance. I was going to have to get a referral. Then obviously I would have to get back to go through my mobility. I said this sounds like the perfect time. I really could have stuck the company, but I'm not that kind of employee. But I started to, and it was on my mind. It really was. Like I was like, ooh, I sure should. Sure should. Because, leave of absence, you get up to 2 years, and they have to hold your spot. So maybe I would have been in Dublin after all. I mean, Dubai after all. Where did Dublin come from? Boy, that sounds like that's on my itinerary because I keep thinking about it. How far are you from Dublin, Rachel Ray? Crafty with Dixie. Just don't leave Lash behind. I'm going to take Lash with me everywhere I go. Showered and 48 hours of PJs continue. There you go, Therese. FMLA only provides 8 weeks. You're probably right. FMLA does. And there's no payment on FMLA. I had as a part of my benefit package, I had short-term and long-term disability. So I would have been able to simply take leave and apply for, this would have been considered long-term because short-term is 6 weeks. So I would have been able to get paid for my whole time. That's why I said I could have really stuck the company because all I would have needed is my referral from the insurance. Once that's done, that gets remitted to HR. Boom, there you go. Good morning. It holds our job. Yep. You have STD and LTD. Yep. You're right, Phyllis. So, and to get paid from the company while you're there. And I also had purchased the buy-up. You can purchase the buy-up and pay every paycheck. And your buy-up, you can go from getting 65% of your check to 70, 75, 80, 85. It depends on how much you wanted to invest in the event that you had to go out. On my buyout, I had bought up to 85%. Still would have been more than enough because that probably would have still been more than what I'm making now. But yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do it at all whatsoever. I went out the honorable way because I feel like, conniving and things like that. For me, those things never pay off. Something would have happened to where I would have probably been worse off than I am now. So I'm okay. But the thought is lovely. That I don't have buy-up. Do you work claims? I do, Phyllis. I do. In risk management. But I mean, I've done everything. Not only have I worked in claims, insurance claims, but I've also worked in policy services and underwriting as well. So I'm fully risk management, went to school, certified and licensed. Elizabeth says, I had no idea you went through that, Tia, and you still go shoot guns. That's awesome. Locked and loaded. We're going to be moving on to rifles because I got to learn how to hunt. I'm going to probably go visit Jeremy. I know Jeremy's big in hunting, and I'm going to learn how to hunt. That way when I move out into the woods, I'll be ready for anything that comes along. Anything, even bears. I'm going to get me a big old can of bear spray. I'm not going to really worry too much about bears. We were out hiking last year, me and my daughter. We went up to Lake Tahoe, just me and her. We were trying to have a mom and daughter trip. However, she failed to tell me that her boyfriend had moved nearby, and the mommy and daughter trip ended up being mommy, daughter, and her lash. Um, in any event, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! Me too. I work for a third party claim administration. Okay. I think that those are better because but sometimes maybe not. Obviously, when you work for a native company, third party administrations or vendors, they feel like they're hindered in what they can do. And I've worked in third party as well, so that's why I say that you are hindered in what you can do, because I think the company feels a little bit more like if you're going to make an independent decision, they prefer it be one of their native companies as opposed to a vendor. So I completely understand that. And Phyllis says been there 19 years. I think I've been in insurance for relatively close to, what is this, 2020? So about 20 years. Yeah. And before that, I used to be in marketing and advertising, and I did that for probably 8 years. So I would have never guessed that I would be in either of these fields, though. We have some clients that think they can drive how we handle the claim. I get that. I definitely get that. I think my last question, because I know I got 7 minutos, and then Mindy's diamond moment will be up. My last question that I don't know if anybody answered this. I seen it somewhere, and I said, "Oh, I like to answer that or address it at least." The question is, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? So, I thought that was such a great question. And the reason why I thought it was such a great question is because one thing that I feel that I had growing up was the beauty of communication, effective communication. So when it comes to if I could talk to my personal 18-year-old self, I feel like my father, he did a great job of that as I grew up. When I went to visit my mom, my dad, he did a great job as well. As I told you before, Poppy and my dad, they were really good friends. And through their wisdom, they went in 2 different directions after school. My dad, which is my mom's husband, he was older. So he had been out of school well before my dad. They knew each other. They played football on the same team because they went to the same school. But when obviously they, come back together, and they really did create a beautiful village to raise me and my brothers. Effective communication for me gave me guidance and wisdom so that at 18, I already knew to have an open mind, to be patient, to be kind, to think of others. I also learned at a very young age to listen and to be open to new and different things, paths, ideas, concepts, respecting others. So for me, I not to get married young, I like those. Get to those classes. I like that. Get my degree. I like that. I do. But here's what I'll add to that, Jill. When it's right. When it's right. You guys know my son, he is on his way back to school. He's been out for a little over a year, and he changed his major quite a bit. I think mentally, even though he is on his way back, his job is going to pay for him to go back to school. He has some apprehension His apprehension obviously is based on the fact that he wants to make sure that it's the right time. He doesn't want this opportunity to be squandered. So while I would say that's great, always ensure that it's the right time. That's what I would say about the get your degree. Get it, but when it's the right time. You may not appreciate, the struggle in trying to get your degree at 19 or 20, as you would if you waited and went to school at 25, 27. Don't take life so seriously. Enjoy making friends and don't be worried about the future. That is beautiful. I love that. I definitely do. I agree. Not to worry about the future. Take each day as they come and always be willing to say, tomorrow, let's make it a great one. Let's make it a positive one. Things of that nature. And then if you do fall and you have, an issue or a concern or a problem, always face it as a learning opportunity, and think to yourself, in that moment, if it were to ever occur again, what could I do differently next time? Or what could I do differently going forward? Those are the things that I feel I would embrace a lot more. I think it was ingrained and it was there and present, definitely on the precipice, but that pretty much is what I would really highlight and really focus on. Look up Dave Ramsey's book on helping him decide if school is right for him. Chris Logan Books. There you go. So with that said, this has been a beautiful live. I really appreciate you guys coming out first thing in the morning or early afternoon. I know, Rachel, you about to have a good meal because by this time, what is it? Going on 4:30? Was it 3:30? By this time, your time, my time, I'm probably gonna be eating something really good. I don't know, but I know I asked for a homemade meal today. You guys are so very welcome. Oh, thanks for hosting. Off to grandson's birthday celebration. Let me put the I'm gonna put Mindy's link back in. You're very welcome. There we go. That's Mindy's link. She's probably going to be getting set up. We have about a minute to go, so I'm going to hand the pen over to her. Ooh. Hopefully she's ready. I didn't get a message or anything from her, but you guys are so very welcome. Have a good rest of your day and finish enjoying the Diamond Painted Thon. You're welcome.